It's just gone midday at a secret location in Venice, and the final preparations are underway for a masquerade sex party. In 8 hours, 100 men and women from all around the world will descend on this penthouse Venetian mansion for a night of wild hedonism, and one of them is me. My name is Georgette Cully. I write about sex and relationships for The Sun. I'm here because I've been granted exclusive behind-the-scenes access to find out what goes on behind closed doors at one of the UK's most popular sex parties. For centuries, Venice has attracted romantics and Lotharios alike. Casanova himself strutted these streets, and Lord Byron even fled here after one too many sex scandals in England. It's the perfect place to lose yourself in the company of someone else. I arrived during the tail end of the carnival season, the centuries-old tradition where Venetians dress up in extravagant masks and costumes to let loose with their identities free from prying eyes.
Everything about our events is experience, and it's 19 years of every party you have to wear masks and Venetian masks, so it's sort of that place of intrigue and costume and acting and theatre and yeah.
Emma Sales is the founder of Killing Kittens, a sex-positive party promotion company that has been bringing people together, like really together, for almost 2 decades.
I was a really insecure, little 25-year-old when I launched it. It was kind of like creating this avatar world that I wished I lived in. I wanted to create an online and offline community and world that flipped the norm on its head when it comes to sex, so that women could explore their sexuality and sex without, any shame, any judgment, being the ones in control, which is sort of unlike going into a nightclub where it's sort of very male.
Started in 2005 as small soirees, which put the pleasure of the kittens, the female partygoers, at the forefront. Today, Killing Kittens is one of the most popular sex parties in the UK.
What started as parties, 40, 50 people on a small kind of online setup has sort of snowballed into sort of a global 200,000 members, big chat rooms, workshops, the whole dating side of it all. So it's just a massive empowering world where you can just be you.
In recent years, alternative relationships have grown in popularity in Britain and around the world. A 2020 YouGov study found 43% of millennials are likely to say their ideal relationship is non-monogamous, while The Sun's Valentine's Day sex survey found 10% of Brits are now in a polyamorous relationship.
We've seen a huge increase in people around the board, but especially when it comes to, I would say, mums and the over 40s, especially since COVID. I think COVID was that point for people where they thought, I have one life and I want to live it.
Tash has worked for Killing Kittens for 7 years.
I know couples who started very nervously and have watched their relationship within the lifestyle blossom and become something which is far greater and has brought them far closer together. I've also had another woman who was widowed and she was not ready to have any form of relationship but really wanted to have sex. And it changed her whole life, regarding her job and everything, because it just gave her that empowerment within her that she could just go and do what she wanted to do and live a life for her.
These more liberally minded attitudes have seen an explosion in kinky apps like Field and We Are X, which allow users to connect with like-minded people and even attend sex parties together. And you might be surprised by some of the names Emma now sees on her guest list.
So you get lots of celebs coming to the bar. Good celebs. Music industry, film industry, sports world, probably the big ones. That's it, that's all you're getting.
Carnival season has its roots in a Christian tradition where during February and early March people would let loose and party before the 40 days of austerity during Lent. In Venice, the tradition evolved over time as its wealthy occupants began to celebrate the season with more extravagant costumes, parties and, of course, masks. Traditionally, they were a way to remove the class boundaries of a society where the gap between rich and poor was gigantic. For Killing Kittens, masks are a way to create intrigue, pageantry, and a little bit of privacy too.
It adds to the theatre of somewhere, it's a masquerade, and it does make people feel a bit safe when they go into an event. It makes them feel a little bit hidden. We did have one lady who came up to us with her mask on and said, I've just seen my uncle, and she had to quickly have the mask on and make sure she was in a hidden corner.
People have flown in from all over the world for tonight's party.
From Barcelona, from Malaga, from Paris, people from New York had flown in, one Australian couple. I think mainly UK lot will have come in, but yeah, it'll be a complete mix.
And what's the sort of age demographic?
Probably, I would say early 40s, because yeah, the ones overseas tend to be a bit more of an older crowd, they're more expensive, people come and make a weekend of it, so I'd say early 40s will be the average.
Lily is a 40-year-old mother of 5 who attended her first Killing Kittens party in 2019. She hasn't looked back since.
I went to the mansion, at that time it was held Mayfair area in London, beautiful big townhouse. I didn't play, but it was eye-opening and I enjoyed it so much that obviously I stuck around and went to lots. I wanted to do something adventurous that I'd never done before, and it felt like the best place to have my first experience.
She even found love at one of the parties.
We saw each other in the pre-party chat group, and we had a little online chat, maybe spoke on the phone once or twice, but we actually met face to face at the event and pretty much never parted since.
And you have a child together?
Yes, we do, yeah. He's now 3. And yeah, I did not expect this out of my life. I've got 4 children from my previous marriage, and my partner has now took them all on as well, and I couldn't imagine it. Literally, it's the best thing.
The team have been here since early this morning, organising some pretty unique logistics.
Every party's Benny Hill, to be honest. There's that kind of rush of how to figure out the bed. I mean, Venice, bear in mind there's no cars, it's sort of everything's had to be shipped around on the canals on boats, so trying to get mattresses around on boats and, cloak rails and everything, booze. We had 2 suitcases on the plane that were just full of bed sheets and condoms and lube.
And what does the security say when it goes
Well, that's hold luggage, so yeah. But we've travelled with hand luggage, and actually I've never been pulled out. We've stitched people up and put giant dildos in people's hand luggage before without them knowing, so yeah, you always have fun.
As the sun sets and the fog creeps back over Venice, the countdown to the debauchery begins. With everything in place at the mansion, Emma gives us a final tour before the guests arrive.
Coming here, the main hall speaks for itself, really. We're going to have a shibari performance later, so it's like erotic rope performance, and singing and pianist, and so different entertainment throughout the night. We've got the open bar at the end. So we have 4 playrooms tonight, and in each one is the equivalent of about 2-3 double beds. And people can just do whatever they want to do in there. So after a few hours, you see people kind of trickle off into the side rooms, and some couples stay together. There's a lot of bisexual girls. So you see a lot of girls with girls. You see that classic kind of group action going on. People walking around watching. So there's so many. It's like 1,000 shades of grey of all the different angles of why people come and what they get involved in, and what happens.
And so what are some of the most wildest anecdotes or things you've seen at a Killing Kittens party?
God, there's so many. It's like 19 years worth of what I call Kodak moments. One of the ones was, it was London Fashion Week, and I walked into one room and there were sort of 5 models all with strap-ons who were just all at it with each other, very loud, and you just walk in and go, I'm just going to stand here for a bit, soak it all in, and that's very much going in my video bank.
I think the one I always remember, it was my first ever event that I went to, and I was really nervous. I'd never been to anything like it before. I was having a little drink, I was talking to everybody, chatting, having a really nice laugh, and I completely forgot where I was, and it was like being in a room just when you go out and being with friends. And then I just turned to my right, and there's just someone completely naked with a pair of Louboutins and a butt plug and a tail, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's where I am.
Because it's become so norm, it's like, to me, I'm like, that's boring, but you know what I mean, if you've got 60 people all naked on a bed like Dante's Inferno, that's probably pretty wild, and that happens at every party, so, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit average, it's a bit grey. Yeah, so that's it, you have to see for yourself later.
People who attend the parties have different attitudes towards monogamy and what they can and can't do with other guests. For Lily, her relationship is open.
We obviously communicate and we keep in check with each other and make sure that we're both very comfortable. So if he's going to go and meet somebody, or if I'm going to go and meet somebody, we make sure that we're good and that we're comfortable with each other. And in every relationship has its ups and downs, so we just make sure that at that time we're good and there's nothing that's going to rock the boat.
And so will he ask you what went down at the party? Will you fill him in when you get back?
Yeah, sometimes we leave it a day or two just for ourselves to process, and then we're ready to discuss what's happened and what hasn't happened. But yeah, a lot of the time we're just as eager to learn about each other's experiences, yeah.
Not everyone at the party is there to have sex. Some just want a peek at how the other half live.
My kids go to a little village school, and actually I've taken some school mum friends to quite a few events actually. A lot of people don't get involved, so it's not a case that you come to one of these parties, you have to get naked. So they don't get involved, they just say it. So it's a really safe space, it's really fun, you can dance around in your underwear, you can just feel really empowered. And to one school mum, she was fine, but she had, wandered around for hours on her own and had really good chats with people, and said it's the safest she's felt going out in London. People go, oh, it's a sex party, everyone has to have sex, everyone has to get naked, and there's so much more to it.